All right, so we'll begin today. Today we'll be continuing with what we started with last class, and then we'll be building up on that to more modeling knowledges and more modeling tips. By tomorrow, we'll start discussing. By tomorrow, we'll start discussing modifiers. Okay. Give me a second. I don't like this. Look, I want to change my. Okay. So in the next class, we'll be discussing properly about modifiers. Okay. Modifiers are very powerful tools in Blender that you can use to speed up your workflow like 10x. Okay, so we'll be discussing about modifiers more, and modifier is another broad topic because there are several modifiers. There are lots of modifiers. That's it, and this is where you find the modifiers tab. You can click if you click on this icon here, that's the modifiers icon, and it's showing different modifiers. And now the thing is, modifiers are different for different object types. Okay, and I believe I spoke briefly about object types in the last class, right? So in the next class we'll start talking about modifiers for meshes, right? So yeah, all right. So today um today I'll be teaching us some more modeling tips and some more modeling uh, tools that we can use in modeling, because that's like the foundation of, is like the basics of everything in Blender. That's the core thing. If you don't know how to model, if you don't know if you are not flexible modeling, it will be difficult for you to proceed in in model in general, and ultimately in your XR category. Now later, much later, not much later, I think 2 classes from now, we'll start talking about the texturing and materials textures and materials basically. Now I noticed someone added materials to the assignment. I think Mubarak, I think that's you, right? So that's actually very good. That shows that you already have a basic understanding of materials. Although we discussed about how you can improve, because I know there are some errors in that, but how we can make it look better, right? So you have a better so without much ado, in this class, we'll be modeling something, I don't know, a very basic shape. I don't know if you can see me. Um, this is a comb, either this or this, whichever one you prefer. Whichever any of these will do just fine. So, and when we're doing that, you'll be learning some new tips about extrude. We started with extrude yesterday, and we're supposed to we were supposed to start with extrude today, but I think we had a bit of time. Sorry, last class rather. I think I had a bit of time, so we were able to dive into extrude a bit in the last class. Now I'm talking about the sister of extrude, because what they do is somewhat similar, but not in the same sense in a way, and that's inset. Okay, so meanwhile, let me go into edit mode so you can see, so I can explain what I'm talking about. Okay, if you want to extrude this now, let's say you want to make you want to make Thor's hammer, right? A basic Thor's hammer. You can scale this on the x-axis. Let me select everything first. Select everything. Oh, sorry. Let me turn on the screencast here so you can see. Hello. It's a bit quiet a bit too quiet. Can I hear some feedback? Hello.
Yeah, we are with you. We are with you.
Okay,
I
that's
can hear
fine.
you. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so you can see the screencast is right. All right, let's make a basic Thor's hammer so I can show you what I mean by insert and different uses of extrude. Okay, so let me scale this to the y-axis. Yeah. Okay, now if I wanted to make Thor's hammer with extrude, I would um I would extrude a face. Now I'll right click to snap the face back into the same position, but the face is still there. Now I'll now scale down this face somewhat like this. Okay. Now the handle will be rectangular if I should extrude it again, because so I would likely want to scale it on y-axis a little bit more to make it somewhat square-ish, right? So now I think I can extrude. Okay, this is a this is a very funny looking person. But this how you do it if you're extruded, right? But rather than having to extrude, then right click to snap to the position again, then scale down. There's a one simple thing you could have done. It's called inset, and shortcut key for that is I. Okay, so let me undo this so that is my end. Okay, so if you were inserting, what you would do is you tap I, right? If you tap I, it will just like shrink off another face out of the face that you are. That's you can now scale the face down. Maybe somewhat this, then you can now scale it to y-axis. Maybe scale to the y-axis again to 2 bits. Then you extrude that. Okay, so that's just the basic difference between extrude and insert in that aspect. Now, insert doesn't make doesn't it doesn't project the geometry out. It just projects it on the same plane. It just like the name implies, insert plane. All right. So that's just the basic difference with insert and extrude. Okay. So now, last week last week sorry, on Sunday, the last class rather, we spoke about the faces, the edges, and um the faces, edges, and vertices, right? And that's the basics of modeling. That's the very basics of modeling. Those are the very things the most basic things you need to know if you want to model. And the same rule, the same general rule applies to all of them. Say if um you want to reduce or you want to manipulate an object. I don't know if you want the edge of this to be sharp and this like a slightly square kind of thing. Then you can go into maybe object, maybe a face mode. You select the top, you scale this down. Yeah, it's going to look weird, but yeah. So the same way you can manipulate a face like that. That's the same way you can manipulate a an edge. Let me go to edge select mode. Same way you can scale down edge, something like that. Yeah, scale down an edge. But for a vertex, because of course the vertex is a single point, you can't really scale, reduce or increase the size of a single point. So scaling will not work. Rotation will also not work. R for rotation will also not work for vertex, only for vertex. But every other thing will. But you can actually still grab this and move it around. All right. So that's just basic difference between the three of them. Pardon me. So that's just basic difference between the three vertex, face, and edge select mode. All right. Okay. So now you might be wondering if you wanted to if you had like too many. I told you it's always good practice. Please have this at the back of your mind. It's always good practice to try to minimize the amount of vertices or the amount of polygons you have in your shape when you're modeling. Okay, try to make it to the barest minimum, because now in truth, the more vertices, the more geometry you have. That's the more curved or the more manipulation you have to do in order to if you are if you are trying to export it to a different software for use, or you're trying to if you are working with third party, which is likely what you'll be doing. If you want to export out of Blender for something, it's not really, you don't know how the kind of capacity that it will be difficult basically, especially in XR. I've had issues with this. Very Please listen very carefully. I've had issues with this in the past. In XR, there are sometimes you want to do something in VR, for example, and you need a model. Maybe you've created the model in Blender, and this thing and what the thing you are trying to model will be deployed on a web, right? If it is deployed on a web and your file size is like 100 or 200 MB, I mean, this is Nigeria, okay, a lot of us are in Nigeria, for at least So it will be difficult for people to say you want to load only a web page, and every time you load a web page is you're spending up to 200 MB like that. It's very difficult, and most people it creates a form of um it's not user friendly basically. So you want to reduce this file size, all right? So that's one thing important reason why you would need to model in low poly. Okay. Okay, good. So that's that about that. Let's move on. Now, like I said, but let me sorry. If you wanted to do something like you wanted to delete a face, for example, you can actually delete only faces. You can delete the three different geometry parts like the vertex, the edges, and the faces, right? You can delete individually each of them. So if you have a face like this one I'm selected, I wanted to delete only that. If you bring out the delete options, right? To delete in edit mode, if you press X, to bring out a few more options. Now, if you are in object mode, I press X, it will only have the delete because you're in object mode. There's not much manipulation you can do on object mode. But let me go back to edit mode so you see. So if you wanted to delete, now you'll be able to choose what kind of how you want to delete it, or if you want to dissolve it. I'll explain the difference between delete and dissolve shortly. So you can delete the vertices. Now, if you delete the vertices, you might be wondering that okay, you're in face select mode. Why is it asking me if I want to delete the vertices? Now you're in face select mode, but the vertices are still there, of course. If you select a face, the vertices that it's basically equivalent to you selecting all the vertices that bound that face. All right. So if I go into while selecting this, if I go into vertex select everything, you see that the vertices that are there. Sorry, let me undo the face that I selected. It's now changed to as if I selected the vertices that bound that face. Okay. Maybe this shape is a little bit too confusing for me. Let me do this and go to something big. Um, like a cube. Okay, good. So you can see that it will select all the vertex, and even in vertex mode, you can actually select a face. So all you have to do is just select all the vertices that bound the face. All right. You can see that the whole face is now highlighted as if it's selected. All right. So now if you want to delete, you can actually delete faces, vertices, and edges. So if you delete vertices, something different will happen because just as this vertex is selected, it's kind of like the vertex. I told you a vertex is like between two vertices there will be a line, right? So now it's as if you have selected half of the line basically with just one vertex because it's having relationship with this line, it's having relationship with this line, all the lines are bounded, right? So if you delete, let me just delete only this one, you delete only this vertex, you see what will happen. It will somewhat like delete like half of your objects, half of your the mesh. Okay, because it will not just delete, it will delete and delete all the edges that bound that vertex. Okay, so let me undo. But if you delete an edge, okay, if you go to edge select mode and you delete an edge X, and I go to delete edge, it will also delete the faces. It will delete the faces that bound it. Now here's the hierarchy. If you delete a vertex, it will delete all the edges that bound the bordering the vertex. If you delete an edge, it will delete all the faces that border the edge. Okay, so there are two faces that border that edge, and it will delete them. All right. But if you delete a face, it will only delete the face. It doesn't delete any extra thing. So if you delete a face, it will only delete the face, nothing extra. Okay. So let's go to our main exercise for today, which is this comb here. Now, like I said last week, if you want to model anything, just basically break down the basic shape of what your modeling is. Whatever this is, just break down the basic shape. What general shape does it look like? Let me take a look. If you want to model this now, are we following me? If you want to model this, what shape will you likely want to start with to model to make your workflow faster? Anybody?
A
Can you
box.
see what I'm holding a brush or a
Yeah,
shape here?
a cube. A cube would be better.
Okay, a cube, right?
or it's equal.
Yeah, exactly. Are we all in agreement to that? Let's just cross that if you can undo your mic and cross that. Or if you have a different
Yes, yes,
opinion,
yes.
you are the one that made the point now. Let other people. Okay, I can see some people.
Okay.
I can see someone agreeing. Okay, all right. Let's proceed. Okay, so you likely want to start with a cube, but if you notice, this is not like the top is not really boxed up like that. It has like a concave look in a way. Okay, so I'll show you how we'll do that with insert and extrude, and how we get the basic shape. Now, for now, we won't be worrying about the brushes. All right, but I'll show us some tips. We won't be worrying about the brushes if you want some accuracy. But let us focus on the handle right now. Okay, so to do that, Mustafa said we add a cube, right? And we all agreed. Let's add the cube. I'm going to edit mode. Okay, let's go into front view. Now, if you notice, this is somewhat like a rectangular shape. So we want to increase our cube to look more rectangular, prism-like. Okay, so let's scale this on, let's say x-axis, right? Okay, so this is it. Scale it on x-axis. Now, it's also somewhat um, flatter on this plane, on this side. So we want to reduce the height a bit. Okay, so that will be scaling it on the z-axis, right? Scale it on the z-axis. Good. Don't worry about making this thing. Now, if you look at this shape very well, it has like it from one side it looks like a U, right? A little bit like a U, and from the other side, the U that projects on the one side has like a curve, somewhat curved. So account for that too. All right. So in last class, I told us something called an edge loop, right? So if you want to create an edge, manipulating edge around the entire object. So the edge loop. And shortcut key for that is what? Let me call someone's name by random. Um. Okay. Noble. What's the shortcut key for edge loop? Hello.
Shortcut key forward. Yeah, shortcut key forward.
For edge loop. Edge loop. Like if you
Edge
wanted to
loop.
create a loop around this, the same way we did for the bottle. Yeah, the same we did for the bottle that we created a loop around it. What's the shortcut key for that?
Uh,
Does
is that not
anybody
easy?
help him? Stefan is straight.
Uh,
Stefan, you can talk. Okay, Tolu is also raising his hand.
Control R. I think. Yeah.
Sorry?
Control R.
Okay, Control R, good. Tolu, do you agree with that?
Yeah, sure, control.
Okay, good. Control R. So that's the shortcut key for edge loop, right? Give me a second. Mustafa, you're raising your hand again. Hello.
I said I wanted to answer before, so they've already answered.
Okay. Oops, sorry. My internet had a glitch. Okay, let me share my screen again. I think there was a small error there. Okay. Sorry for the glitch. Okay, yeah, we're back. Okay, so we said Control R, right? Now, this is how we'll be doing it so that we have edges to work with. We add a loop cut at this point. We add a loop cut towards this edge too, and then we extrude this to bring this U shape out. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Let me make a loop cut. I told you if you hover your mouse over the one, right? Okay, now it seems I didn't mention this last class. Now in loop cut, if you want to add like multiple loop cuts, you can just scroll your mouse up to increase the number of cuts that you have there, or you scroll it down to reduce. Scroll to increase, scroll this down to reduce. You can go crazy with this. It's basically unlimited amount of cuts, but that will be like another kind of headache for you. Okay. Now, so let's just add a single loop cut, and let's just right click. Now I'll tell you a shortcut key to bevel something, right? Now, in for those of us that don't know what bevel is like if you have a if you notice most of our products or most products hardly have sharp edges like that, all these extremely sharp edges, unless it is for a knife or something that needs to have a sharp edge. Think of anything. I'm trying to look for anything, or basically, yeah, furnitures, especially furnitures. The edges of furniture are somewhat chamfered, somewhat flattened. Exactly, that's what beveling is. So it's a way of flattening this. And so let's say this object now, this flattened cube that we have here. If I wanted to flatten this side here, I can bevel it, and the shortcut key for that is Control B. Okay, Control B to bevel. Control B to bevel. You can see that it has flattened, and now the same way it will just the mouse. You can now moving your mouse to how much you want to bevel it, how the distance, if it's this, if it's that. If when you get to the distance that you think is okay for you, you can just click and make it permanent. Okay, and that's beveling. Let me undo that. Now, the reason why I mentioned that is because we'll be using bevel to increase to duplicate or to make the loop cut around to be two, right? Now, when you notice when I bevel this, the edge is ending at this point, at this edge here. The edge is ending at the edge, exactly. So the edge goes from here to here, right? But what if an edge goes continuously like a loop all around an object? That means there's no way the bevel command will be able to mark as an endpoint to flatten. So what it will do in that regard is to duplicate the line, right? Because that's basically what bevel does. It carries a single line and turns it and duplicates it into two. Okay. And now, just like loop cut, when you are beveling, you can actually increase the amount of line. So when you see when I bevel now, it's just flatten the whole thing. But I could make it somewhat curved by just scrolling up with my mouse. You can see that it's getting curved. I don't know if you can see my screen very well. Let me zoom into do it again so you see. So now beveling again, Control B to bevel. Now it has flattened. Now if I wanted to make this flat, no, I don't want to make it flat, I want to make it curved. So I'll just scroll up with my mouse. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. You can see the more I scroll, the more edges it's adding, and the more curved it gets, the more the curvature. And of course, it's getting too much, right? And like I said, when you have too much poly, it's actually bad practice in modeling. So you want to make it as to the barest minimum. Okay. Let me right click to undo that to escape from that. Now let's go to the beveling profile. I remember what I did. What I told you, that if you want to select an edge loop, just select one, hold Alt and select one of the edges to select the edge, the loop around all the loop continuously to the edge. Okay. So now we bevel this, Control B to bevel this, and it will duplicate like I told you to duplicate this. Now we can just increase the amount since our beveling is supposed to be at the edge here. The edge loops we're supposed to make them towards the edge so that we can have a U shape. The underlying part can be longer. Okay, so somewhere around here, I think it's okay for now. Just a basic shape. Okay. Okay, good. So we have this. We have this shape. Now, of course, the other way we could have done this was to but okay. If I wanted to delete, yes, I think that brought up something I should have said when I was doing delete. If I wanted to delete this edge now, like I created an edge loop, I discovered I didn't want to. Now want to delete the edge. If I go into X and delete, let's say it's an edge, right? If I go to X and delete the edges, right, the whole thing will disappear and to give me this weird shape without faces and just single edges. But that's not what I want. I want to have my my rectangular prism shape back. So what do I do? That's where dissolve comes in. Dissolve in this regard will only like the name implies, it will dissolve the edges and whatever the shape you're dissolving while preserving the face. Okay, it will preserve the faces and dissolve the edges. So what I can do is I can press X. X will also will bring out the option for dissolve too. Now rather than just using these ones, I will scroll down to dissolve. Now what am I dissolving? Now dissolving edges and vertices and faces behave somewhat differently. But but since we are dissolving an edge now, we'll use edge dissolve. Now if I press dissolve, it will now delete it without actually deleting our faces and our this. Now if I had used some maybe vertex dissolve, for example, vertex dissolve will somewhat mess with our geometry. Exactly. It will mess with our geometry, and for good reason. Let me explain why. You remember that if we're in vertex mode, if we're in vertex mode, the if sorry, if we're in vertex mode, I told you that if you select a vertex, it will it will affect all the edges that are surrounding the vertex. Now just to know to have a view of what I'm talking about, if you notice that if you select a vertex, it's as if the edges around it are glowing also. Okay, not but they are not glowing all the way to the end. So if anything should happen to this vertex, it will indirectly affect all the edges surrounding it. So that's why I want to constrain ourselves to the edge when we are doing something like this. Okay, now there are some times however when you want to dissolve edges. Let's say let me select edge and select only this one, right? If I should dissolve only this edge, um there are sometimes that depending on what results you're trying to achieve. If I dissolve this edge now, it is giving me a weird shape. Okay, so in case you want, if you would want something like that, so it's not as if it's a bad thing, it just depends on what you want. All right, so let me undo that and do um I will dissolve the edge. Okay, so dissolve edges, right? Okay, good. So now we have this. Now the other way that we could have done this I wanted to mention was that we press Ctrl R, right, and scroll up to make two loop cuts. Now I can just add the loop cuts, right? Then we'll now start moving alt and select edge width to select the first one. Then now move it to the side. Um, but moving it will not be even if you G to move to grab, it will it will might not move on the same axis. This is where something else comes in. Please take note of all these shortcut keys because as we go on, that's when um I'll be introducing us to more shortcut tools and more shortcut keys, right? So if you want to if you want to move an edge, but you want to preserve the shape, you don't want to the shape to you just want to move the edge along the proper shape. Now because this our object is properly aligned to the wall, if I should grab on the Y, of course it will move perfectly. But what if our object is it's not aligned to the wall? Let's say for example it's rotated around, I don't know, a random axis for example. Okay, and then you want to move this to this edge. You can't really do that. You can't really find a way to align yourself to do that. It's not going to work. Okay, so there's shortcut key for that. If you want to slide it, it's called edge slide. If you want to slide it along the same axis of the same natural axis, you can tap G two times. That's shortcut key for that. Rather than just press G for grab for moving, you can just tap G two times. Tap tap, and then it's sliding regardless of the orientation. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Let's go back to our pointer. So another way to, like I said, another way to achieve this is you tap tap, bring it to the edge if it's okay for you, and you do the same thing. And it can you notice that this is a bit more cumbersome, extra steps. So that's why I just decided to bevel. Bevel will move the two edges at the same time, and the distance from the edge will be actually equal. and you want, and this is a symmetric object actually, so it's bilaterally symmetrical. So you want to have something, you have to have the edges equally distributed. Okay, so let me delete this, because I want it to be. Please notice what I did. I had an edge loop selected here, and I wanted to select another edge loop. Okay, remember that if I should press Alt and select another edge loop, it will deselect this one. But if I want to select multiple edge loops, I hold Shift Alt, right, and then I select another edge loop. All right, so it will select both of them together. So now I can dissolve them and add the proper one, the edge loop and bevel it the way I did the first time. Okay, so add edge loop, select, and right click to snap to the middle. Bevel, Control B to bevel, and then let's say about this distance is okay. Good. So what do we do now to achieve our U here? What do we do to achieve the U here? Let me ask someone that is being quiet. Are we following me, please? Hola, Amy. Yes. I don't think I've heard your voice since. Miss Ola Amy. Am I right?
Yes, you're right. Yes.
Okay. So, did you hear what I said? Did you hear the question I asked?
No. Sorry, I didn't hear your question.
Okay. What I asked was you can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Done.
Okay. What I'm saying is we're trying to achieve this, right? Did you get that?
Well, actually, I'm having a little bit of issue following up because I was not in the last class, and
Okay.
I'm not also in the WhatsApp group, so I don't have access to the previous recording.
Okay. Master Richie, did you know that? Master Richie. Okay.
I was
You'll be
actually going to ask at the end of the class for that so that I can follow up and be up to date.
okay. Please, we're still a little bit early. This is the third class we're having, so it's better, I think, if you I don't mind if you can interrupt me and let me know where you're lost or where you if there are any issues, so we can try to make you catch up, so that we don't progress, so that we don't complete the program and it will be as if you wasted your time, you haven't learned anything. Do you understand me? So this goes for
Yes.
everybody also. If there's something I'm doing, or if there's something, maybe even if it's the middle class past
Charger.
class, and you
Light, you
don't
know this.
understand, or you have some questions, or maybe
Alright.
I'm saying something that you don't really, it's too fast, or maybe I'm progressing too fast, you can actually interrupt me and tell me to get that, because the aim of this is very important, that at the end of this program we all have the modern skills required. Because for those of us that will be progressing to the XR, it's, you cannot not know these skills. You can, it's like the fundamentals of anything 3D, virtual 3D environments. So you need these skills. Okay, so if there's anything you need to know, else you just be building on ignorance and you won't learn anything. All right.
All right.
Okay, so I don't know. I don't know. We'll find a way to help you to catch up, and that'll go for someone else. I think someone else said this is their first class. Um, I don't know. We can still try to catch up and catch up everything. Maybe we'll have a private class for just those that missed the previous classes.
Okay.
Or,
Hello.
or also, please, can I be had? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
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 About those who are just joining up. I will drop the link to the YouTube channel where you can watch the previous recordings. I would also drop the
Okay.
link to the WhatsApp group in the chat box.
All right. Excellent.
And
Okay.
it's important that we follow up with the classes. After this class, we will not be admitting new students anymore. And those who are currently enrolled, we're taking attendance serious from this class. If you miss two classes without written permission, you may no longer be admitted into the program. So let's take this seriously. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Okay. So Teniola, I believe you're in the previous class, right?
I wasn't.
I can hear you.
No, I was not.
Okay. But were you able to watch the video, the tutorial video on the YouTube channel?
No, I haven't, but they're gonna share the link and then I will.
Okay. Okay. For Let me just briefly mention it to a quick recap so we understand. In last class, I think we discussed about extruding briefly, and that was what we used to form the water bottle exercise. Okay, and extruding, I think I just mentioned at the beginning of this class. Like I said, extrude is shortcut key for that is E. Now, most of these things that I mentioned, the shortcuts, you can actually come to, I believe, mesh here. Yes, you can actually come to mesh, or there are options that you can actually navigate to. So, if I wanted to extrude this, let me go to object to face select mode. If I wanted to extrude this, I could have said I could say E as shortcut key and then drag it up, right? That's how you build like a wall on it. Or I come to mesh here and click on the actual command extrude. Now, if you come here, there are a few more options, but let me just select the extrude face, which is the E that we have been doing. Now you notice that it does the same thing, but the problem is the moment you click the command, it's like tethered to your mouse because the thing works relative to your mouse head, your pointer head, right? So you might be clicking something. Let's say your object is your face is here, for example, at the edge here, and you come to mesh here and you click on the extrude. Okay, so your mouse is here and your mouse is way up here and the object is way up there, so you need to be dragging. You won't really be able to it's less flexible. Okay, so what you want to do is it's better, that's why you hover your mouse close to the object and you extrude, you'll be able to have more control. Okay, all right. So the way you can extrude a face, that's how you can extrude multiple faces at the same time. So you can select this face and select this face to just make it work easier. And then, since we're trying to achieve this, you remember we're trying to achieve this U shape here. You can tap E to extrude. Okay, you can tap E to extrude, and now we have the basic U shape for the brush. Okay, now at this point, I would want us to actually try to come to this point. I don't want us to be. I don't just want to be like a dictator that is just dishing out instructions. I want us to actually follow the instructions. All right. So those of us that have their systems on, Mustafa, I think you said you have your system on. Someone said yeah, Oluwaseun, you said you should have your system now, by now, right? Tolope, I think you have your system on now.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. Who else? Everybody, if you have your system on, be prepared. You'll be sharing your screen now. All right. So I think we should. Tolope, you have Blender fired on, turned on, opened, right? So you know how we achieved this? Remember how we achieved this? We started with a cube. We flattened the cube. We scaled it to make it look like a phone shape, and then we added the loop cuts at the edges, and then we extrude them. Okay, so let's try to achieve this to this point. Let's start with Tolope. I told you we would like to be more practical as from now on. So starting with Tolope, share your screen. I'll stop sharing my screen so you can share your screen. So of us will look at you and watch your workflow, all right? And if something you don't understand, we correct you and we walk through it together. Okay? Idris, how about you? Stefan.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sorry?
I said I'm good. I'm good. I understand how to do
Okay,
it.
good. So you have your system, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so let's start with Tolu. Tolope, let's see your screen. Let me stop sharing my screen for now. Okay, you can see your screen. Hold on. We want to start. Want to watch your everything again. Okay. Okay. Good. Now start. Yes, you're adding. Go into your no. Try go into your object mode first. Your edit mode rather. Okay, sorry. Hold on first. The problem is it's not like you can't do some things like some scaling and some rotation in object mode. You can actually, although you don't have full control. But the problem with that is it will mess with your object. I don't know your object origin and your object the object initial state. So and sometimes not every time, sometimes you present problems future on. So say for example you um I don't know. I'll show us an example because if I wanted to show us an example now, it might not, it's beyond the scope of this class. But it's if you want to edit or manipulate an object, just it's advisable just go into edit mode and do everything in edit mode, and before you come out of edit mode, then do what else you want to do. Okay. So Tolokwe can proceed. Hello. You stop sharing your screen, Tolokwe. Tenny, are you with your system?
Yeah, but I'm really clueless. I can share.
Okay, don't worry.
Sorry. Have you been talking to me? I was on a call. Sorry, please.
Okay. Now I was surprised you stopped sharing your screen.
Yeah, my network went off. I was on the call.
Okay. Tenny, can you just open up your system and you open up Blender on your system and start sharing so I can walk you through some things. Olaimi also, okay, you have your system with you now, Olaimi. Hello.
My screen.
Yeah,
Hello.
Tenny. Yeah, Tenny, sure, you can share a screen. Olaimi.
I'm using a different system at the moment. The system I have now is not my system.
Okay, so the Blender is not installed there, right?
No, it's not installed on this system.
All right. Okay, that's okay. But in the next class, please try to get your screen. I want everybody to participate.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so Teniola, waiting for you.
Coding.
Okay. Mustafa, you're not with your system, right? I think I just see.
Yeah, I'm with my system, but I'm using phone for the class. So sharing the screen, I will have to use phone camera. Like.
Yeah. I think I understand you. Don't worry, we'll make do with that.
Okay.
Tenny, are you there? We're still waiting for you.
Joining with my PC now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm rejoining now.
Okay, you were initially joined on your phone.
I was joined on both, but they said my Mac was saying I didn't have permissions because the screen recording I didn't have it activated for Google Meet. But I'm joining now. I've gone to my settings.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, so wait for it. Everyone else should have their system ready while we're waiting for Tenny. Don't look where you'll be continuing you're done with your call now, I believe.
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, so after Tenny, you'll be continuing with what you're doing. So remember what you're trying to do. Let me share my screen again. Remember what we're trying to do is this. All I need is I just want us to work together to get to this point.
No.
Okay? So just to get to this point, achieve this U shape. Remember, we're trying to create this this. Sorry, I forgot. I'm not. I'm no longer sharing this. Tony, are you ready? Okay. Remember what we're trying to do is this brush here, this shoe brush. Okay. Okay. So I will stop sharing my screen now. Okay, Tony, we're with you.
Yeah, hello?
Yes. Can you mute the one on your phone? Okay.
Yeah, I've ended on my phone.
Okay. Okay, we can see your screen. Open up Blender.
Yes, here it is.
Okay. Good. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now you can tap S to scale.
Okay.
Now tap Y. Tap Y. Tap Y. Now
Yeah,
bring your mouse out gradually until you eyeball it and see that the size is okay for you.
Yeah, I think this size is fine.
Then you can click.
On what?
Left click. Just randomly left click.
Okay.
Good. So now, what you did was you scaled on the y-axis, okay? And to know the y-axis, you can just go to if you look towards the top right corner of your screen, you see like there are like three like an axis point, yeah, exactly that.
Okay.
So that's where you have reference for your axis. So to know which one is y-axis, which one is z-axis, which one is x-axis. Okay. So the y one, that's the green one, that's the y-axis. All right.
Okay.
So any line in that direction is the y-axis. Likewise for x and likewise for z rather. Okay.
Yeah.
So now
fair.
To achieve this object, let me turn on my camera. Let me know if you can see me. Can you see me?
I can see you now. Yeah.
Okay, good. Now to achieve this object, if you notice the object is much more, it's flatter. It's as if it's flat on its height, and it's a little bit wide. Somewhat, it has like a basic phone shape. Okay. Before we can achieve this, let us work with that flat shape. Okay. So what you now do? Go back to your screen. So what you can do is you scale and you reduce the height of the object. Okay. And to do that is by scaling it on the z-axis. Okay. And it's the same way you did the scaling on the y. So tap S to scale, and then tap Z to scale on the z-axis. Okay, when you get to the desired height, you can just click to make it permanent, or you press enter.
Okay.
Either clicking or pressing enter. Okay, good. So now if you've done that, now what we did to add those rings around it, to add another edge around the entire object, is we added a loop cut. Okay, it's called a loop cut. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. All
right. And to do that, what we did was Control R. The shortcut for that was Control R. And it's not just that you press Control R. You press Control R and you hover your mouse over the object. Okay. Now it will show you some previews of how the loop cut will look like when you press Control. You can do that, right? No. I said Control R, not just R. What you press now was just R. Press Control R.
Stop.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Exactly. Now don't click yet. If you hover your mouse over the object, just move around the object, the preview will change. Exactly. Once you have that preview along the longer side, then you can click. You can click to make it permanent. Click
right
once
or left click.
Left click once. Now you can just right click. Now if you notice when you left click, it's as if the ring was following your mouse, right?
Yes.
Exactly. You can right click to just escape, or you press escape to make the ring just snap to the center and make it permanent. Okay, good. So now what we did now was we needed to add two edge loops, right? One at very close to the extremities of the shape we have here. So what we did was we beveled it. Now did you understand what I was? Did you listen to me when I was mentioning bevel the other time?
Yeah, I understand. To make it less sharp, curved at the
Exactly.
edges.
Yeah. But if you have an object that goes an edge that goes round the object, like totally around the object you are modeling, your beveling will not have an edge, so it will just somewhat split the line into two. Okay.
Okay.
So that's the trick we did for this one. So you can press Control B to bevel it now. Okay, good. Now slightly move your mouse inward. Exactly. So when the mouse is close to the edge, not too close, but close enough to like the thickness of escape first. Press escape so you can see me. Now come to the camera and watch me. Okay, good. So what we're trying to have is like the thickness. Just try to imagine the thickness of this the bumped up part. Okay, like the
Yeah.
heel part. So what we'll try to have is this thickness. So when you have the bevel to close enough to the edge to have this thickness, like the cross section of this thickness, you can actually click it by your own discretion. Okay. So go back to your screen and do that. Everyone else, are we following? Because this is what everyone else will be doing. So Control B again.
Okay.
So Control B.
I don't know. It's expanding.
Okay, you know what? Okay, hold on. I want to make mention of one. It's not a big deal. Escape. Press escape, or you right click. Now I'm sharing my screen so you can see something. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen yet? Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet.
How about now?
Nah.
How about now?
It's not showing yet. It's like you want to present, but the screen is not showing yet.
Okay. Just let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see it.
Okay, you can see my screen now, right? Okay, good. Now let me undo all the things some of the things I've done. Let me dissolve these edges. Remember I said you alt to dissolve the edges. Now if you add a loop cut around something, okay. If you're trying to do something that will maybe that requires like you moving your mouse towards center or scale or moving your mouse away from something. Let's say you're trying to scale, for example. Maybe if you want to scale this out, right? If you want to scale this out, you want to make your mouse to be close to the center of this before you start the scaling, okay? Because your mouse will be moving away, right? That's scaling out. Now, if you want to scale in, you want to let your mouse to be far away from from the center of where you're scaling to. So when you press scale, so that your mouse will be coming in. All right, that's just like a good practice. All right, do you know that? Did you hear me? Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
copy.
I heard, but I didn't understand.
Okay. Tenny, the I noticed the small issue you're having is you when you're trying to bevel, right? When you press Control B, your bevel is looking something like this, right?
Yes.
Now the reason for that is because your mouse was because when to get that kind of bevel, you'll be moving your mouse away from the center, and your mouse was already too far away from the center. So when you press Control B, to move it farther away, you need to move your mouse much farther. So it will kind of overdo it. Now, if you want to have more flexibility or more room to work, since you know that your the action will be moving your mouse away from the center, let your mouse be closer to the center when you start. Then you press the Control B. Notice my hands free. My mouse is just sitting at the center. Then you can now slide your mouse away, and by this way you have much more
This is my
control.
hotspot.
Now note this for
Yeah, but
everything,
they
whether you
connected.
are moving, whether you are rotating, whether you are scaling.
Off.
If you want to make
Somebody
your mouse, if you don't want your mouse to be flying around like moving wow very crazily, you want to have it, maybe you want to just move like very little. What you do is, let's say if you let me press the Control B, you're beveling now, and you just want to make your mouse maybe a little bit bigger, you can hold Shift, tap on Shift, hold it down. Then if you move, your mouse will start moving slowly rather than fast. That small grid line,
Only one device.
but it's almost there, and I don't want to move it. If I move it too much, it will pass it. So
Where?
what I do is I just hold Shift.
Connected
Now my movement will be very much more gradual. It
Before
will
been
move,
they
but it
show
will be
me
much
too.
slower, much gradual.
Okay.
Yeah,
Other one no
it's
day
like
again. Before was
making the
showing two device
incrementals very
connected.
slow. Okay, that's what Shift does. So it's just a small tip for that. Now, Tenny, did you get the tip I just shared now? So you can bevel your object now. Bevel, Control B, and then when you get into the edge where you want to stop, you can just hold Shift to make it slower. Then you can drag. You can drag as wild as you want now, but it will move much slower. All right. Now do the same. I'll stop sharing my screen now so you can do the same. Okay, Tenny. All right, good. So Lokwe, get ready. Um, Likewise, Mustafa, don't worry, we'll manage with what you have. Noble, you've been quite quiet.
Yeah, I'm
Tenny,
available. I'm available.
Tenny, can you press Control Z quite a few times? Seems you've Control Z again. You just press it again. I'll tell you when to stop. Keep pressing Control Z.
Uh,
No. Escape. Press escape. Okay, is that all? You know what? You can hover your mouse over the. Wait. No. Don't worry. Just no. Don't worry. Take your mouse to the edge, the line that splits it into two, right? Now hold Alt. No. Hold on. Hold Alt. Then click on the end on the line.
I should hold what?
Hold Alt. Are you using a MacBook or a Windows PC?
MacBook.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Hold I believe it's options or something like that,
Command.
Okay.
and click on that. Is it selecting your ring?
I don't think so.
Um, I don't think it seems your object has a break the object is broken. Click the middle mouse button. You're using an external mouse, right?
No. Just my keypad.
Okay. everything and start over. Tab,
Tap where, please.
tap the tab button on your keyboard. Just tap it.
Here.
No. When you press the tab, okay, do you have the tab button on your keyboard? Or you go to the move to the upper left of your screen. You see a drop down edit mode. No, a drop down edit mode. Remove no. Edit mode. Yeah, edit mode, exactly. Click that and click the object mode.
Okay.
Okay, good. Now press X on your keyboard and click. Okay, now this also goes for hold on. This also goes for all of us that don't have if you don't have an external mouse, okay? If you don't have an external mouse, what you can do is you can actually emulate this mouse wheel, okay? Can emulate this mouse wheel stuff because you'll be needing the mouse wheel a lot in Blender to orbit, to pan, to do whatever. All right, so to emulate that, I think I showed us how to do that in the first class for most of us. But there's a kink to it. If you activate that, it will affect all the commands that you'll be needing alt for. All right. So you can just revert to that. Now, Tenny, hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, go back to your screen. Go back to your Blender. We need this to be faster now. Okay. So now do the same thing. Create an object. No. Just bring your mouse to the viewport to the center here. Now press Shift A to create an object. Shift A to add an object rather. And Shift A is the add menu. Okay.
It's not working. I'm trying Option A and it's not working. I can't see anything.
Shift.
Really? Okay, you know what? Go to take your mouse to the upper left where you found the object mode and the edit mode kind of thing. Okay, now go a little bit to the right. You see the add tab there. That add here, yes. Now click on mesh. Now add a cube. Click exactly. Okay, so that's the other way for some of us that I don't know. The shortcut key for that is Shift A. But hold on, go to the add again. Since you're using a MacBook, it might be different for you. No, just hover over don't click the add button, just hover over it. It might bring a display or a drop down. Exactly. You see that shortcut key there?
Yeah, arrow up A.
Exactly. You can press that and that should be your own shortcut key since you're using a MacBook.
Okay.
And this goes for basically everything. If you don't know the shortcut key for something, you can just hover your mouse over because basically almost virtually everything that has a shortcut key has a actual place that you can navigate to know where the option of the command is. So just hover over that and you will find the shortcut key. But if you can't find it, don't worry, we'll walk around that in the meantime. Okay. So now you can go into edit mode. Go into edit mode. You know how you did that the other time. Edit. No. No. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Good. Now you scale. S. I would like to encourage. Whoa. Hold on. What do you press? Control Z. Okay. Here. No, hold on. Just so you know, that edit panel, the one above the drop down for edit mode, is different from the edit mode. Okay. So
okay,
go to the one that has the drop down. Okay. That's the one that you be able to snap between edit and object mode. So now come back to your cube. Tap the S. Yeah. Now, since you know how you achieve the previous one, so you scale it on the Z-axis. No Z. Okay. Oh yeah, Y first. Whichever one is your choice. Okay, good. Now hold on. Escape. Now I told you that if you are scaling inward, right? If you know that your mouse will be moving towards the center, you will likely want your mouse to be far a little bit far from the object at first. Okay, so that it will make your work easier. All right.
Okay.
So now tap S and scale on the Z and tap Z. Scale on the Z axis. Okay, good. So if you move your mouse inward, it will get smaller. But if you move your mouse outward, it will get bigger. So make it a little bit thinner. S on Z axis and S Z inward, slightly inward. Okay, good. That's okay. I think that's okay. Now I will encourage you to get an external mouse. It doesn't matter. You can get a wired one just for starters or any comfortable external mouse because if you, I'm sure you might be feeling a little bit of ache on your fingers right now. If you
Not
use
not really.
really,
Yeah, I'm used to it.
trust me, you will. If you model for like hours and all you are doing is just moving with your trackpad, it might. Well, I don't know. For me, it gets a little bit achy. So either way, it's advisable to get your external mouse because you're using your mouse wheel a lot. All right. So now
Okay.
add the loop cuts quickly so that we can move on to other people.
Okay.
Mustafa, can you hear me now? It seems you said. Sorry, I'm just saying the. Sure. Mm, okay, Mustafa, you said you don't have power right now, right?
Yes. The my system will soon shut down, so maybe I will soon be switching back to my phone. So
Okay. Okay, maybe after 10 we'll just try to get to you so you at least you'll be able to do something before the system shuts down.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Can you still work in the next like will it still be on in the next 10 minutes?
Uh, yeah, it should. It
Okay.
should.
All right, Tenny, you need to hurry up now.
Can we move to
Um
him first, please?
okay. Okay, that's Ujuru no wala.
I'm being
Mustafa, please.
considerate.
Sorry?
I'm being considerate.
Or you're looking to explain. You're not being considerate, you're
Okay.
looking to
Thank
explain.
you. Thank you.
All right, so Mustafa, let's get you. ASAP.
Sorry, what's the shortcut for adding an object? I'm always forgetting the shortcut.
Shift A. Watch your keyboard.
Okay.
If you use a MacBook, I think the shortcut key is slightly different.
All right. Thank you.
So just did you Nobu,
Yeah.
did you see where I told Tenny to navigate to?
I was actually focused on my work, but no, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Don't worry, we'll see it on Nobu on Mustafa's screen right now. Mustafa, is that you? Who's sharing the
Yes,
screen?
yes.
Okay,
Can you
so
see
go.
it?
Yeah, we can see your screen. Go to your
Oh,
Blender.
can you see my blender now?
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Okay, so if okay, exactly, that's good.
So
You've done that. Why are you adding another cube? You don't need to add another cube. You've done that so we can see. Okay.
yeah.
Just delete this new cube you added.
Okay, I should.
I told you it's bad practice to model in object mode. You want to keep constrain your model into a mode.
Okay.
Okay, good. Uh-huh. Control B. Spill out. Are you using an external mouse or your trackpad?
No, I'm using an external mouse.
Okay, I told you if you want to make your scaling or your movement to be somewhat gradual and not flying, and you can just hold shift to make it
Yeah,
gradual.
yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Is it exactly? All right, that's good. Okay, that's
Okay.
good. Tolu, can we have you now? Tenny, we're coming back to you.
Okay, boss.
You're
It
not out of
was
the.
too fast. It was too fast.
Oh, let Danny do our own now.
I'm
Sorry?
sorry. I'm sorry.
Let Danny do our own.
I didn't hear you, Tolu.
I said let Danny do ours now, since Mustafa is done with his own. Or you
Don't
want me
worry.
to do mine now?
Don't worry. Don't worry. She's not out of the loop yet.
Oh,
What's
okay.
coming to her?
All right. So, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Okay. We might not be able to run you over because you said your battery is low, so we would like to do as much as possible before your battery flats out. Okay. So Tolu, can we have you? Noble will be ready. Okay. Olaimi, you are excused for this just for this class. Okay.
I like to just show the work I've done because there's no power here and my batteries will go down.
Okay. Your battery is also almost down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, for Tolusig, let me and any other person, let me try to explain what he's doing. So what he did was he added a cube. Okay. Or you know what, Noble, you can just tell us what you're doing as you proceed.
Okay. So currently I already gotten my cube, scaled it down, flattened it. Then I'm currently beveling it.
Okay.
And I am extruding the edges, the those two sides that have been
Sorry,
buried.
hold on. Your screen has stopped sharing.
And
Noble,
I'm
your
done.
screen has stopped sharing.
No, I'm not. I was not the one sharing my screen.
Okay, I thought that was you.
Let me just show it again.
Oh no, I was the one sharing my screen before.
Okay, Tolu. All right.
So I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see. All right. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, so Tolu, let's have you.
Okay,
Or is
bro.
there anyone else that their battery is flat, so we quickly run them before? Okay. Godwin, you're welcome. Or have you been here since?
No, sir, no, sir. I was at work, so I'm just on break now.
Okay, all right. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, there's something I probably should mention. Blender has like a version that you can open on your mobile phone, although it's very, 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 very much limited, and it's I didn't want to mention it because I just advise to stay away from it. It's still an experimental version. There are a lot of bugs and stuff, so that's why I don't advise it. So you could in fact open Blender on phone. There's way you, and the way you configure it is kind of it's a little bit more complex. Okay, so that's why I didn't mention it initially. Okay, good.
Boss,
Tolu,
I'm done.
you okay. Tolu, okay, good. That's good. Tenny, can we come back to you now? Because you seem, I can sense that you are lost.
No, not yet, please. I'm actually not feeling well, so I'll just try.
Oh, okay. It will. It will. It's well with you. Olaimi, and who else again? Um, yeah, Oluwaseun. You've been quiet.
Yes.
Yeah, Olaimi.
I'm
Have you?
I'm
Are you?
I'm trying to join the WhatsApp link. Oh, it's not working.
Okay, no, I'm sure Masirichi will work on that. But for now,
Okay.
let's just focus on the class. It's a minor issue.
Okay.
We'll go
Thank
to that,
you.
of course. So, but are you able to just observe the workflow and get a little bit of tips?
I'm a bit confused. It's until I watch the previous class and go through it. I'm sure it's going to make more sense to me.
Yes. Okay. Let me mention something. I don't know. I will discuss this um with Masrichi and Sunday. If there are way too many people that have missed the first two classes, I may have to organize a quick makeup class just so everybody can catch up. Because I really don't want anybody to get lost behind. So we just progressing. It seems as if it's a waste of time. Okay, we really don't want to waste anybody's time. Time is too precious. So if there's more than three people that have missed the first class, we might be inclined to just make a maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour makeup class max any day that will agree together. Is that okay? I think is that fine? Hello.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
so it would be nice. So thank you.
All right, just to be sure, how many people missed the first class, or how many people have not been following in the past previous last two classes? I think Olaimi.
I watched the videos on YouTube. So
Okay, you watched the video on YouTube, so you got
I
a
was
bit
in the
of the
first
idea.
class. Then in the second class, I wasn't active. I wasn't there throughout. So I watched the rest of the class on YouTube
All right.
as a part was included.
Okay. Godwin, how about you? And Oluwaseun. Hello.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I was able to follow.
I'm not greeting you now.
No, I said I'm
Greeting you.
fine. I was able to follow the
Oh,
class.
okay. I thought you. All right. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Okay, so
So I think
the link for WhatsApp is actually working now. You can check it.
okay. All right. Excellent. Okay, Tanya, are you ready? Oh, hold on. We have quite a few people that have been so quiet. Absalam, I think you're just joining us. You're welcome. Abdurazak, Oluwaseun has been seriously quiet. I told you I want everybody to follow along. Stefan, yeah, Stefan, you've been off and on, I believe, or maybe just me. Hello,
Hello? Yeah.
Stefan, you've been.
Should I share?
No, be ready to share the screen. We'll get to you shortly. Just is your blender opened up?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and you're following us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you'll be sharing your screen shortly. All right. Tolu has shared the screen. Nobu has shared the screen. Penny is having a bit of difficulty, but I think she's actually catching up. So Penny, I'm waiting for you.
No,
What-
please. I'm still on the call, but I'd rather just observe for now.
Okay. All right. So who? Okay. I think Stefan should be able to share your screen now. And Godwin, are you with your laptop there? Yeah,
No, I'm not on
Stefan.
my laptop.
Yeah, Stefan, proceed. I saw your hand. All right, Stephen, hurry up. We're already, our time is already fast spent and we've not even completed our shape yet. Now we still have a lot to do in this class. Please bear in mind there will also be an assignment in this class.
Can you see it?
Yes, we can see your screen now. Proceed.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you've done that. Okay, I think all right, good. I don't want us to our time is already fast spent. We should be round the clock we should be rounding up the class in the next 30 minutes max. So I want us to move as fast as possible, okay? All right. Oluwaseun, yeah, you're quiet.
Yes.
Do you have your laptop there with you so we can see how what you've done?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so share a screen ASAP so we can proceed. Waiting for you.
One moment.
Okay.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, exactly. Okay, so that okay, good. That's very good. All right. Okay, so who else has the screen on that we can share?
Your house is broken, and there's a carpenter willing to help
So I
you
can
fix
follow
what
along
you can't
ASAP.
fix. How do you expect him to fix your broken home until you let him in? Don't let Jesus Christ into your life as a guest in your house, because when the devil comes knocking, the guest never opens the door, the owner does. If you hold on to your life, you will lose your life. If you give up your life,
Okay,
you
so
will have your
because
life
of time,
saved.
let us proceed, okay? And I would like every one of us to also be following my steps and be working and be trying to do the same thing I'm doing, okay? All right, so this is where we are. We extruded the edges here. Extrude slightly upward. Okay, good. But if you notice, always look at your reference. If you notice, there's like a bit of arc, like an arc on the side here. Okay, I think someone left. Sorry, the oops, sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. My bad. Sorry, I thought I was sharing my screen. Um, okay, just let me know when you can see my screen. Okay, good. Yeah, I can see Oluwaseun's hand. All right. Um, sorry for that. Okay, so we have the basic shape. Remember, like I said, there's an arc here. There's a bit of arc. Yeah, so what you want to do is you want to account for that arc. But how do you create the arc, right? Who has an idea of how we can create this arc? If you have an idea, just quickly say it. So if I tell us how we do that, like how to make this U shape, this side and this side, if how to make them make an arch over it.
You can bevel them. Those stuff edges.
Okay, you can bevel them. You mean like bevel the? Let me go to this. Bevel the edges here. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, bevel. No, not those edges. The longer edges.
Okay, this one.
Yes.
Okay. If you bevel them, it will look something like this. Okay. Is that what you? That's not what we're trying to achieve. Okay. You understand?
Oh, I
What
thought
we're
when it
trying
looks
to.
like from the video, the stuff I was saying.
Sorry.
That was what it looked like from what I saw from the shoe brush we were holding. I said if I
Oh
wasn't
no.
seeing.
Um. Let me go closer. Let me go closer to the camera so you can see it properly. Okay. Can you see?
Oh,
The
okay,
arc,
okay, okay. I get what you
the
mean.
arc is somewhere like this. Okay.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's like the arc is on this side. It's not on this side. Okay. Although it's a little bit smoother on this side too. But the arc that we're talking about is from here. Okay. So for both, it's kind of like the what bridge is that now? Okay, kind of like a bridge. You
This
understand?
one.
Yeah, exactly. So how to do that? How we're going to do that is we're still going to use the bevel, but not not directly the way you think. So
Yeah.
first of all, before we add the bevel, I want to add a loop cut because what we want to make the middle point of this place to be taller. Okay, so we can now bevel those that tall middle point to make an arc. Okay, so to create a middle point here and a line there, we'll just add the loop cut. Okay, so Control R to add the loop cut. And since it's at the center, I'll just right click to snap to center. Okay. Now, we grab these two edges here. Note, we're not creating a loop select. We're not selecting the entire ring. Okay. Just those two edges. All right. And now we'll just raise the height a bit. Grab. Are you following what I'm doing? Can you see what I'm doing? Hello.
Yeah, we're cool.
Okay, good. So I'm making them.
Sorry, your screen stopped showing for some time. Can you?
Oh, okay. Let me.
Yeah, doing it.
Okay, good. So what I said was, we're going to achieve that arc, right? All we're going to do was to add as if we bisected the entire brush. We bisected it this way. Then it will create edges on these points here, right? So those edges will raise the edges, so it will form like a somewhat sharp like a roof, exactly like a roof, sort of at the edges. Then we can now bevel that edge, and you know that when we bevel, we can actually make the bevel to be curved, not just flat, by increasing the amount of vertices that are beveled. Okay, so that's what we're trying to achieve. Do you understand me?
Yes,
You
yes.
understand?
You can continue.
Okay, good. So, oops. Okay, so sorry, the recording that I was recording has stopped. Let's hide this for a minute. All right. So what I was saying is Control R to create an edge loop. To create an edge. Control R edge loop. Okay. When I create the edge loop, now the edge loop has looped around the object. Now we grab just these two edges. Just these two edges. This one. Just the edges at the top here to create like that roof shape that I was talking about. So you grab it, G to grab on the Z axis. Okay. Let me use Gizmo so we know what I'm doing. Okay. Sorry, the how I got the Gizmo, I just clicked on the move tool. That G that we press is the move tool. So clicking here will just bring out the actual arrowhead to show us what we're doing. Okay. So notice how the arrowhead is somewhat in the middle of the center of origin of the two of them because we have a object to move relative to the midpoint. So now if I press the arrow to move it upward here, okay. Now I'm kind of moving it exaggeratingly high for a reason. So notice that the original one is the curve is not that high. It's a little bit subtle, but the movement here is kind of exaggeratingly high, and that's for a reason because when you with the edge is still selected, I'll now bevel this. Control B for bevel. You notice how the height keeps reducing, something like that. Okay. Now you notice that it's forming like an another edge, a kind of inverted triangle to it. Um, so I'll just increase the amount of edges that is beveling to by scrolling up. Okay, that's that it's becoming more arch-like. Can you see? Can you see this? Okay, good. Okay, can we all
Well,
achieve
what
this?
do you? Can you repeat it again?
Sorry, I can you speak up? I can't hear you.
Yeah, so can you come again with how you made that curve? Those other edges.
Okay. But Stephen, you got that because I can see your hands up, or you're trying to tell me to come again too.
Yes.
Okay, let me explain. Control Z to undo everything, right? Now you understand the point that I raised this up, right? When I raised this up, do you understand what I
Yeah,
did?
yeah.
Okay, good. Now I told you
Yes.
that do you know the word chamfer? Have you heard the word chamfer before? Or camphor? Chamfer. Some people pronounce it camphor.
No, I
Chamfer
don't
is
know.
like um when you're in a woodwork, when you're doing anything or basically anything engineering or anything like that, when you have a product, right, you will likely want to dull the edge of such thing. You want to dull the edge so that it's not too sharp and it harms the user. Okay, so you want to
Okay,
make the
like
edges of
sandpaper.
sorry.
Like sandpaper.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Like sandpaper. So if you have, let's say you have a box like this, and imagine this was made of entirely of metal, right? And it was perfectly sharp. If you produce this as a product, it will be harmful to people. So because imagine this just dropped on accidentally dropped on your foot or drops on someone's head, it will be quite hurtful and can actually create some damage, some serious damage. So what engineers and woodworks and basically artisans, what they do is they flatten the edges, all edges, they flatten them, and that's called beveling. Okay, you can do likewise in Blender, and that's what we've been doing since we bevel an edge. So now, whenever you have an edge, okay, these lines are edges. Okay, whenever you have an edge, you bevel. When you bevel it, it's like you're reducing the height. You are flattening the edge, basically. Now you can do this several. You can actually flatten it on just one plane, or you flatten on several planes. Just like it kind of like subdividing it on several planes. So if I select this edge, for example, and I don't want it to be this sharp, I can flatten it. Flatten it. Sorry, and I can flatten it to just a single plane. But if I want it to be like not flat, I want it to be more curved, to have a more curved nature, I will increase the amount of the amount of planes that I'm using to flatten it. Okay, by scrolling on your mouse wheel. Okay, so I'm scrolling on my mouse wheel to increase it. If you scroll once, you add just one more edge and making two faces. If you scroll twice, you add two edges and making three faces. You add like that. You understand? Just observe what is happening. Let me
Oh,
tell you.
okay.
You
So
understand?
you're just scrolling and
Exactly. Just
you
scroll
make
like
it a more
exactly. So Control B again to add it. Then you drag your mouse outward to just control how flat or how big the flatness is supposed to be. Then you can now scroll up to make it. I scrolled up once, it has added one edge and made it more curved. Scroll up twice, added two edges, make it more curved. Like that, the curvature increases. It tends to infinity. Okay. So with how much you scroll. Okay. So that's the same thing we're trying to do with this edge. Note that this point that I pulled up that looks like the roof is actually an edge too. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is do the same. All right. So I press Control B to create that flatness. Sorry, to create that flatness, right? So once we have the flatness that we desire, we can now start curving. You can make it curve more curve. It's all about discretion. So you can just scroll up to make it curve. You've added one more face. You see that it's a little bit more curve rather than just plain flat. I scroll up again to add another edge. Scroll up. You can add as much as possible. Okay. I can still drag out to make it even flatter. All right. Do you get that, Noble?
Yes.
yeah, I did. No,
Okay. So that's what we did, and that's how we achieved this. All right. So now you notice that when I did that, it's added some kind of some edges that made it look like a Chinese fan kind of thing. So um, now we could leave it this way, but it may present some problems later. Hello, can you still see my screen? Sorry, my recording is packaging. So okay, so um, hello.
Hi.
Okay, good. So can you did everyone follow to this point?
Yes, yes.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so now we have the basic shape of that curve, right? We'll be making this more accurate. We're making it more accurate by because if you notice, it's not just the curve. There's like some grooves on the body on this body right here. So making those, and also although quite alright, there's a U shape here, but it's as if the entire face in here is a little bit sunken. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, it's a little bit sunken, and we'll be accounting for that too. Okay, and that's where we'll be using this insert um, button, the easiest insert command. Okay, so what we'll do is we select all the faces inside here, inside. Um, Select now. I'll be teaching us another short way of selecting. Now you can actually take each face. I'm selecting one by one, holding shift. Be selecting one, two, like that. Or there's a tool that helps us to select everything in our path, like everything that our mouse comes across. Okay, so you just press C for that kind of selection. Then you click to just like every time I click, it select everything. Right click or escape to make the C disappear. Let me do that again in case we didn't get that. Okay. All right. So watch the mouse cursor. If I tap C, there's like a small dotted line that appears around the cursor. Okay. So if you want this dotted line to be bigger, this dotted line is like the circle of influence of where you can select. Okay. So if you want it to be bigger, you can just scroll in and scroll out to make it bigger and smaller. Scroll in and scroll out. I believe plus and minus too should do the same on the keyboard. If you tap plus and minus, it does the same thing. Make it bigger, make it smaller. All right. Okay. Just so you know, let me escape that. Just so you know, plus and minus is also a way of zooming and zooming out. Okay, it does the same thing that scrolling in and scrolling out does. So press tapping plus and minus. You can see my that's what I'm doing. Tapping on my keyboard. All right, so let me just use the C to select. If you want to select multiple things at the same time, you can just tap the C and maybe reduce the circle of influence a bit. And then start clicking. Anywhere you click to select everything in that region. Okay, then escape it. Then you scroll. C again. Bear in mind, if you want to use, you can use this C2 to deselect. Okay, so to deselect, you click the middle mouse button with this circle, this C selection. You click the middle mouse button to deselect. Okay, and you click the left mouse button to select. Click middle mouse button to deselect. Click left mouse button to select. Okay, so now that we've selected all the interior faces, okay, so now we can either insert or extrude, but I would prefer that we insert. Okay, something about this distance. Okay, just a little bit of distance from the wall itself. Remember, I'm trying to. I don't know if you note if you see the what I was showing you. The insert the like it's a little bit inserted. Can we see it? Hello.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, good.
Yes,
So
we
that's
can
what
see it.
exactly. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. So now that I've inserted this like this, so we can now extrude. What would of course not It will not extrude in the proper way at first, but you can now right click to snap it back to the same position. Now you scale inward. You scale inward. Okay. Notice that it has created a yeah, it has created that effect that was showing you with the indents, with the inset here. Okay. But you notice that this place is a little bit flat, it's a little bit flattened or chamfered basically. To do that, you can just scale it on the x-axis. Okay, scale on the x-axis. Okay, good. So I think we're back. All right. So I'm going to object mode now. So now we have our basic shape of the comb, sorry, of the brush rather. We have the basic shape of the brush, and all that's left now is the brush itself. Okay. And to do that, you can actually, there are several ways to do that. You can just let's go to object mode. You can decide to although that will be headache, you can decide to want to start extruding the individual strands one by one. Maybe you take this find a way to subdivide all these faces. Okay, now this brings us to another thing: to subdivide in Blender. To subdivide a face, maybe you have a face here, you want to divide it like a mat, okay, into a grid, basically more like a grid mat. What you do, there's a command for that. It's called subdivision. Okay, now you can right click. If you right click on the face that you want to subdivide while it's selected, then it will bring out these options. So you can just click subdivide, right? And what you notice that subdivide is it really turned it into four faces. Now if you want more faces, you can come down here, like it will bring a small option here, or a small drop down here that you can click to bring out the full option. So you can start increasing. If the number of cuts is just one now, that made it into 4 parts. If you increase the gain, it will make it into it will make 2 cuts, which will turn it into 9 parts, right? So like that, it's like a geometric progression kind of thing. So when you increase it, the number of faces increase. Okay, so that's about subdivision. Now you can do this and start looking for a way to just take the individual faces, maybe insert this one a little bit, then not extrude it for the brush. If I'm trying to make the strands and brush, but this would be a pain in the neck. You cannot imagine how painful this would be. So there are other ways to do that, but it's beyond the scope of this class to create this the brushes here. With using a hair particle, you can use a hair particle. It's actually a command it's actually a physics add-on. Hair particle. It will project things like hair-like objects for Blender. We might touch on it in later class, but for this class, it's beyond the scope of this class, so we won't be talking about that today because it's a little bit more technical. All right. So for now, this is where we'll be stopping in this class because our time is already fast spent. We wasted quite a bit of time trying to watch each other's works. But in next class, so that we don't waste too much time, so that we can do as much as possible, we are meeting tomorrow again. Okay. I would like every one of us to try and get our systems and get up to speed. For those of us that haven't seen the tutorials, go to YouTube and watch the tutorials. I'll discuss with the coordinators if we can have an extra class for those that have missed previous classes, if they are much. Can we all hear me? I feel like I'm speaking to myself.
Yeah.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, so I'll see if we can set up another class for you guys.